Welcome everyone to another Heartwell Dev stream. This right here is actually the what the game looks like in quote-unquote full screen mode. So yes, I actually did manage to get that process working. So you'll notice that it's kind of apparent here on the right. You'll notice how there's like kind of a black outline. That is because, while Fusion 2.5 can't do true full screen, this is making use of the ultimate full screen object to effectively, well, get a much, clearer picture. Unfortunately, while this is a major step forward for the Heartwell development process, one of the drawbacks to this, well, one of the benefits and drawbacks, kind of a double-edged sword. So you might notice things seem a little bit smoother. That's because I got the Clickteam Fusion 2.5 plus DLC to let me use DirectX 11. And while that does make everything feel a lot smoother, it also makes the text look a bit weird. So you might have noticed it up here in the little top left corner, but I think it becomes a lot more apparent here. Just bear in mind, I did not change a single thing about the text here, but the text boxes look a bit odd. And that's because DirectX 11 has higher fidelity, which ironically makes the previously blurry numbers that looked kind of okay now look very, very weird. So, especially when we're zoomed in like this. So it might not be as obvious on like a small player because it kind of shrinks everything down, but if you're looking at this on like a true to form full screen, I mean, it even goes off screen here, but you can see that it looks weird in terms of all the alterable text. So, while we have essentially solved one problem, that's created a new problem, as tends to be the case with game development, but that's okay. Because I still consider this a major step forward. It took months to get to this point. I'm really excited. But now we have to essentially fix the text here. So, how are we going to do that? Well, I have some ideas. Other notes is I've added a little note here about being able to level up one's stats and weapons after earning enough XP, just so that players are at least aware of that. But yeah, so how do we fix this? Over the weekend, I tried my best to see if there were any fonts that would just look normal using the current text objects, but I wasn't able to find any that looks quite right. They all have the same kind of, unfortunately, too pixelated feel. And not like this. Like, I think this over here on the left is fine, but that's actually part of the animation, whereas this is all alterable text boxes. So, how do we fix this? Well, the thought chat. Let me turn on some music so as we can get started. So my current thought chat is to do some testing with something called the text blitter object. Now, I don't think I have it here right now, but essentially, let me see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. So what the text blitter object does is it essentially gives us a way to make a custom text box. So you'll notice that if I run this frame right here, that actually looks pretty good. Now bear in mind it's not zoomed in because the zoom in function happens at like the start of the first frame. But even at zoomed in, this looks pretty good because it's actually displaying an image as opposed to, I guess, alterable text. And we can actually edit what this looks like if we so choose. If I click the little edit button, I can actually go to the add the chart, not that, and go to here and actually add every single individual piece of text to make it look exactly the way I want. But let's see here. Hello, Copper Nicholson. Thanks for dropping by. Welcome. Oh, I see you're interested in seeing some My Little Pony. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy watching that episode about Fluttershy. Now, well, as I was saying, while this does have potential, the challenge with this is that there is many places in Heartwell that use text, specifically the dialogue as well as the stat menus. So in order to get this to work, we first need to test whether or not we can actually get some of the functions we have with text to work properly. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into our menu here and create an entirely new group of events where we will call this text blitter testing. And then we're going to grab some code from the main menu. Because what we essentially want to do is test how effectively we can make this work. So that's the storage string and a display string. So we will need a storage string. I've got the storage string. All right. So what the storage string is supposed to do, chat, is supposed to like store all the dialogue. In this case, it's the dialogue from the opening to Heartwell. And we're going to grab some code. In this case, the code for displaying the storage string. So let's see here. Okay, so I think what we want to do, chat, is grab some of the items here. And for the second argument, let's just grab the test spots section just so we can have some code to work with here. I'll make some adjustments accordingly. So we need that, and that, and that, that, and that, and that. Okay. Cutscene artwork overlay. Yeah, we can grab that. Where is that overlay? There it is. All right. Now that we grabbed all that, we essentially just want to Alright, string of, will that work? Text blitter. There we go, text of text splitter. It's different from that. Need to set an alterable string, so where's my... Oh, whoa, we have a ton of alterable strings of this. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's see if we can make that work. So that's alterable string A to, and where's my... into the storage string. Right now I'm trying to make sure that the text will actually display. So we'll change the alt text to... Yep. All right. Let's see what that does. This will probably break things. Okay. Nothing happened yet. And to be fair, we haven't really changed anything. Let's see here. Oh, Combat Nicholson asked what abilities do Twitch moderators have? So I believe Twitch moderators have moderating functions. So, for example, I think they can ban users. I think they can put users into timeout, things like that. Paragraph number. Okay. So that's what I want to try to do here, chat, is see if we can get the text blur object to display text in a way that's similar to the letter by letter way that Heartwell currently displays text with the old strings. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Oh, fascinating. So I press E and it changes. It doesn't want to change anymore. Alright. So we've proven that I can, at least in theory, display something. Okay, so the after pressing E Display paragraph. What? Two, three, four, five, six, 7. We're missing one very important thing, and that is not here, not here, this. Okay. All right. Well, we can cycle through. Okay, we're not really getting the text effect there that we'd like. Oh, that's why. Because the equation was all off. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Well, works for the first one, not the others. Oh, it doesn't work for the others. Oh, duh. That's just kind of stepping ahead. Not sure this will have an impact, but just in case it does. Oh wait, no, I'm comparing the length of... hold on. One of these things is not like the other. Maybe I meant strings and numbers. Okay, there we go. I'm very confused. Alright, well, we're changing all that. Let's see. Oh, hello, Blind Violin. Thanks for joining. How's it going? Right now we're trying to test out the TET splitter object to try and make the TETs look a bit better. But recently I was able to get the game working in a quote-unquote full screen mode of sorts, using the ultimate full screen object up. You're not seeing it here because this is a test frame, but this is how it looks normally. It's kind of like that. So right now we're just trying to fix the test, because right now the test looks a bit weird. All in all, the ability to do full screen is still, well, I guess not true full screen, but more full screen is making good progress. So let's see here. Oh, the human time turning and touch. No. Nothing like that. There's the word for how far layers are spaced out in a word. Oh, okay. But anyway, right now we're in a situation where it works perfectly fine for the first line, but then every time we go to the next line, it just skips ahead to the next line rather than playing out the dialogue. It's confusing. What if I did this? Oh! Well, that kind of works. Look at that, chat. I think we fixed it. Look at that. Yes! The text is progressing. Now, obviously, that's not what that's supposed to look like, but still. We have, in principle, got the ability to display text. And even stiff. We can go real quick if we want. Alright. So that seemed to fix it. Just that one little change right there. I find it fascinating that it works that way. Alright. Well, now that we've got that in principle working somewhat correctly, now we need to make the text actually fit within the text box. Because right now it just kind of goes off screen. That looks weird. So, how do we do this? Okay. Need to wrap the text. So this is my first time working with this new text splitter object, chat. It's a bit more complicated, but one of the nice things about it is that we can actually make custom text. So you'll notice if we go here, we could actually edit different things if we so choose. Okay, here it is, multi-line. I think it's multi-line. Let's see how that works. All right, that didn't quite work. Let's try. Wait, why didn't? Oh, did I click cancel before? Hold on. Okay. No, it's not multi-line. Is it word wrapping? Aha! Look at that. We have achieved word wrapping. I mean, obviously it's not the right width, but that's something we can easily change. All right. An arms race. Why does that look so weird? All right, well, it's clearly pulling some other item than the apostrophe that it's supposed to be pulling. So we'll obviously have to change that. Let's see here. First, we need to get the width right, so should be about there. All right. Not bad, right, chat? Actually, it is a bit... Text there is a bit tight. We gotta space that out. What does multi-line do? Not really seeing the difference. All right. Ah, here we are. Image, offset, margins, top left. All right, let's try 3, see how that looks. Whoa. -3? No, that didn't work either. How do we space this out a bit more? It's offset. I'm silly. It's offset in the image editor. I'm being very silly. Okay, maybe this is what we're looking for. Oh, that did not work at all. Hey, there we go. Now we have space. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. There really are a lot of options here, chat. That's very cool. Oh, whoops. I seem to have accidentally hit 0 chat. My apologies. I didn't mean to be right that screen. Okay. Okay, let's see if that'll work. Oh. Sorry about that, chat. Oh, that one's... Whoops. Now we're looking silly. Okay, so if I want to edit the text itself, I will have to actually physically make it larger or smaller. All right. Now let's see what else we have here, chat. Right, we need to create a custom font on the text splitter object. So if I'm not mistaken... Okay, so that's still that. What happens if I try to clone the objects? Okay, so we can have multiple. One thing we do need to figure out is what's being called for the apostrophe, because it does not appear to be. Okay, looks like some kind of A. Right, chat, we need to find that A. I think it's this. Yeah, it's that, isn't it? All right. We move that with the apostrophe, everything should fix itself. in theory. Alright. Alright. Let's try that out. What's the R? It always looked like that. Yeah, I think that's how it's supposed to go. I might have to move the S closer. Okay, that looks better. Don't you agree, chat? Looking at the apostrophe here and arms raise. Okay. And that's got me thinking, chat. We can honestly make a custom character map. I think that'll probably be the next step. Making a character map that's the same font as the fonts that we use in like the manifest and stuff. Or something similar. Let's go to those actions. Successfully. Yep. Also, the in the charm app image had to be lowercase r. For the apostrophe to display properly. Cool. Yeah. All right. Normal fonts for fonts as a manifest. Number and default dialog font. Fonts. Save file menu. Okay. Let you know there. All right. Oh. All right, chat. This will be a bit of a shorter stream tonight, but the main We've accomplished our main objective tonight, which was just to see whether or not we could get the text blur object working, at least in principle. So, like that. What I'll be doing in the future is making a couple different variations of this, since there's a couple of different forms of text that we would need for the text blur object. So, off the top of my head, we'll need specific stuff for, well, this. I like all the different save file numbers here. So that'll be text that has a white background. Then we'll obviously need it for just standard dialogue like we have here. So anytime that Dorothy or any other characters are talking, different kind of text there. Then we'll also need it for like the UI and the manifest, as well as the different fonts in certain circumstances. Yeah. Anyway, so a bit of a short stream tonight, chat, but at least it was productive. I feel like I have a sense of path forward for the text blur object and trying to fit the way the dialogue looks. So, with that, my chat, I think I'll wrap things up here. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to stick around for a raid. If you're watching on YouTube and you like what you saw, please consider subscribing on YouTube. It's free to subscribe on YouTube. You don't change your mind later. Straight away show support. Watching on YouTube, have an amazing night.